Welcome to TICE TV. Today we have with us Mr. Puneet Dhiman. He is going to launch a new platform called Chabi. So in this exclusive conversation, we will get into an insightful conversation with Puneet to understand what is this platform all about. So welcome, Puneet.
Thank you, Trisha. Pleasure to be
Uh,
here.
yeah. Okay. So before I really come to the questions, can you tell me what is Chabi all about?
So, Chabi is solving one of the biggest problems that India faces, which is the upskilling of its blue collar workforce, right? And the idea for us is to help our blue collar workforce be better at their jobs so that they are future ready and are more productive for the overall economy.
All right. So, can I know if this is your first entrepreneurial venture or
So this is actually my second. I started another
okay.
company by the name of culturebuy.com, which was
Mm-hmm.
a D2C company for Indian handmade products. So artisanal products like block printed sarees or jamdani products, which are purely made by even award-winning artisans. So that was way back in 2012, 13 when D2C wasn't even a buzzword as an example. So now this is my second venture almost after 8 years of experience beyond that point.
Okay. So, what really interested you to get into entrepreneurship?
I think that's a Kida I would say I've already had. Even after directly my MBA, I decided to join a startup versus a corporate. The idea primarily being that you really grow faster, you learn faster, and you drive a real change when you're working at a very early stage company or in a startup, right? And the world changing phenomena are always built in startups, right? So that was always the driving force behind working in early stage companies and eventually starting on my own as well.
All right. So, Puneet, if I talk about Chabi, it's quite different from the existing products in the industry. So, what really
Right.
inspired you to So, what really inspired you to come with such an unique product?
I think the beginning was the pandemic, wherein all of us were sitting at home, and I was privileged enough that I was sitting in the US with Google at that time. And you saw the migration crisis that was happening in India, and it just kind of built that fire inside me that okay, we need to do something to help the majority of our workforce, right? Almost 500 million people in India are classified as blue collar workers, and they live literally hand to mouth every day. Uh, and when you look at the problem, you always see two parts as the solution, right? One is education, and second is upskilling, right? Best thing you can do for anybody is teach them how to fish, as they say, right? That if you teach somebody how to fish, then you've fed them forever. So that was the starting point. That was I would say, the beginning of what Kabi became eventually. That okay, how do we help a blue collar worker upskill themselves, right? And
Mhm.
working towards that, we realized that the idea they are hungry for upskilling, right? We almost interviewed 1,000 plus blue collar workers, and I would say 90-95% all of them said we would love to learn something. It's just that we do not know how to. Plus, we don't have the means to go to an institute and learn from them, right? So from there, the idea was born that okay, what if we teach them through WhatsApp itself
Mhm.
instead of trying to teach them through a traditional method of a teaching methods or an app? What if we just simplify the entire problem for a blue collar worker and teach them through WhatsApp, which is the app they use the most every day, right? And they're most used to it, they're most accustomed to it as well. And that's
Right.
how I would say the WhatsApp learning platform idea was born for blue collar workers.
So, do you think that our Indian market is really ready for this product, especially if I talk about the blue collar class?
Right. I mean, see, I think we are far behind in terms of technology adoption than what the blue collar has, right? All of the people that we talk to, even we observe as managers in our positions in our offices, that they use Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, all of these platforms almost 2-3 hours every day, even today, right? They spend most of their free time majorly on WhatsApp, chatting with other friends, other families, and sending WhatsApp forward messages, and then just spend rest of the time, whether on Facebook, whether on Instagram, just doing shorts and reels and stuff like that, right? So they have adopted mobile technology really, really fast. Now
Right.
it's up to us as an ecosystem to ingrain our offerings into that mobile ecosystem, right? They're 100% a mobile first economy. They're not a desktop first or a laptop first economy. They 100% work, or they 100% understand how an internet on a mobile phone works versus how it works on a traditional methods. So 100% they are ready. It's up to us, I would say, now to adopt our technology towards how they usually want it to be.
Okay. Also, when it comes to skill development, connecting it to WhatsApp is quite unique. So,
Right.
can you elaborate on how Chabi really leverages WhatsApp to provide effective learning experiences for its users?
Sure. See, WhatsApp, I think everyone understands second part of the WhatsApp. The best part is vernacular language, right? You are
True.
interacting in WhatsApp in a language that you automatically understand. So if I ask you a question, what's your name? It's a fairly easy question that mostly everybody would understand, even in English also. But the more you get into technical concepts, the better retention happens when it's it's in a vernacular language, right? Uh, that's what WhatsApp enables us to do. So all the content that a person consumes on WhatsApp is vernacular, so it's in a language they understand. The experience for them is seamless. So whether it's videos, whether it's quizzes, whether it's assessment, as an example, right? If I ask you, okay, introduce yourself, one way is to type that entire answer and send it to me, versus you just hit audio record on your WhatsApp and just send it to me as a message, right? So the experience of this entire flow from learning to assessment to quizzes, that's just very simple for anybody on WhatsApp.
All right. Also, in your last answer, you mentioned that you talked about AI-powered vernacular learning, which is
Correct.
also a key feature of Chabi. So,
Right.
could you explain how this technology really works and how it helps individuals learn in their native languages?
Right. So, see, the biggest benefit that Chabi provides to its clients actually is vernacular language, right? So, the clients that we work with today, Chroma, Blinkit, Swiggy, all of them, I would say the reason they opted for Chabi is because we help them dub their entire content in local languages. And
Okay.
all of that is AI powered from our end. We have built natural language processing models with third party APIs and integrating all of them into our system, wherein you just have to write the text and we easily convert that into a natural sounding language, both male and female, in almost 10 plus languages of India, right? And that helps a company to kind of create a content which usually or typically would take almost 2 3 months, now can be done in almost a day.
Okay, so is there any particular region in India which you are targeting, or is it a pan-India product?
So the product is obviously, I mean, in its applicability is applicable across India. The languages we are targeting obviously are the most spoken languages of India. So Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, all of these languages, Marathi. So the languages that typically are spoken the most. But the idea would obviously is to expand it across the horizon and incorporate all the other languages as well.
All right. So, since you are in a very initial stage, so what are your, if I ask you a simple question, like what are your plans for next maybe 1 or 2 years, and what are your targets?
See, I would say our eventual vision is to upskill almost 1 million people by 2026. That's our North Star goal that we are working towards. And the short term objectives in that obviously is to make sure that the training that we are providing on WhatsApp, the retention is really, really high with anybody who takes that training, right? As a data point, almost like retention today is less than 20% for the training that's taken online, right? Course completion ratio for any training is less than 5% today, right? So for us, the biggest target, or the one thing that we would love to achieve in the next, I would say, 6 months to a year, is increase those numbers to about 95% plus, right? That people who take the training are really, really high, and they engage with the training so much that they complete it easily as well, right? So for us, the first step obviously is to make sure that whatever we produce is consumable by a blue collar worker sitting at their home on their mobile through WhatsApp. So these are, I would say, short term plus long term targets for us as a company.
Okay, so if I deviate a little bit from the product and come to your startup journey, so can you tell me that as you mentioned initially that your first startup was not as successful as
Right.
yeah, so what are your learnings from your startup journey and how you are going to implement those in your new venture?
I think the first thing I learned from that startup is I can't do everything alone. Literally, in that startup, I was the only person who's shooting content, also shopping for products as well, uploading them, doing marketing, running finances, running delivery, right? So it was literally one man show. And second part, obviously, is you need to have working capital to actually grow the company. So hustle, I think, is still the same. So there's no difference between the hustle of building a startup. It's just that the learnings, the experience obviously helps you in organizing things better and think of a bigger scale also.
All right. So it was an insightful conversation with you. Now, if I come to my last question, I would like to ask from you that, as a founder with a vision for building Bharat one skill at a time, what
Right.
advice do you really have for the aspiring entrepreneurs who are, looking to make a positive impact on the society?
I think the first step is to create the right product, right? Everything else would follow once your product is right. And it takes time to build the right product. I mean, we have been on a we started last year in August, so it's almost been like a year plus when we are launching our platform that we are confident of, right? So the past 1 year we have only researched and iterated our product to make it right, so that we are confident enough that the product is going to scale and adopt easily with the blue collar workers, right? So that would be my first advice, that the first step towards building a startup is to make the right product. It takes little money, it takes little effort also at times, but the idea would be to listen to your customers, reiterate, iterate, and just make sure that the product is right for the customer before you go and pitch it to every single person and scale it beyond.
All right, Puneet, I hope that this startup really brings a change in the society and the skill development part. So, thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, appreciate it.